Alright, let's talk about some boxing news here, people. Joyce's next fight has been announced, and it will be on the 15th, so that's next Friday. That's come around quick. I guess he must have been staying in the gym and still in shape from the Leroy Thomas fight. Come around very quick, unless they've known about it long in advance, I don't know. But this show's going to be at the York Hall. His opponent is going to be Richard Lartey. Never heard of him before. He's 12-1. If we click on Richard Lartey's record here, he's from Ghana. He's 6'5", which is pretty tall. You look at his record and he's only had one fight outside of Ghana before, and that was a loss. His only loss back in 2014 to Ergen Mersin, and that took place in Switzerland. He retired in 5 rounds. He was behind on the cards. It doesn't say the circumstances of how he retired, whether he was dropped. It doesn't say whether he was dropped. It doesn't say why he retired. It just says he retired after 5. And if we click on this Ergen Mersin's record, a Swiss heavyweight, right? Born in Switzerland, lives in Switzerland. His alias is the President, 12-0 with 10 KOs. This is what's interesting. The guy hasn't actually fought since 2014 when he beat Lartey. So, yeah, not sure what's going on there with this guy. Don't really know how good he is. I suppose I can look him up on YouTube and what have you, and also look this guy up on YouTube. You can't imagine he's going to be that great for Joyce to be fighting him on such, well, relatively short notice. Then again, like I say, maybe they've known about it for a while. They just only announced it recently. Who knows? But that's not to say there are not good Ghanaian fighters. I was going to say all his fights have been in Ghana apart from one. But that's not to say there are not good fighters in Ghana. There are many good fighters in Ghana, but not very many good heavyweights in Ghana. In fact, I could probably count on one hand the amount of Ghanaian heavyweights I've seen in my entire life. And I'm not talking about Ghanaian heavyweights who were raised in the UK or raised in England or whatever. No, I'm talking about Ghanaian heavyweights who actually come from Ghana. You know, who are born and raised in Ghana like this guy. I can count on one hand the number of Ghanaian heavyweights I've seen. Ghana is not known for heavyweights. The lighter weights, yeah, there have been many very good Ghanaian fighters over the years, from Ike Quartey to Joshua Clottey in more recent years, and famously, obviously, Azuma Nelson. And those guys were all in the lighter weights, you know, the welterweights, lightweights, all that kind of stuff. So that's where Ghana tend to have their quality. In terms of heavyweights, it's like, nah. So I'll be interested to see if this guy can put up any kind of resistance at all against Joyce. And on the undercard, there's quite a few fights, as you can see. Michael Venom Page, this is a haymaker card. So anybody who wants to get themselves down to the York Hall, it's a great boxing venue, the best small hall venue in Britain, as far as I'm concerned. Certainly the best small hall I've ever been to for boxing. And it's a very famous venue. And it's the only real small hall venue in Britain where they still put on pretty decent, I mean, where they still put on high profile fights, relatively high profile fights, you know, between relatively high profile fighters. They're not going to be putting on, you know, AAA world title fights at York Hall, but they do put on well-known British fighters at York Hall still, you know, guys who are building up to European world level and stuff like that are getting a profile. So yeah, head on down to York Hall if you want to see a bit of Joyce against this Richard Lartey. Hopefully he puts up some kind of resistance. Actually, let me just go back to his record again. When's the last time he fought? Okay, he's been active, Richard Lartey. He had that loss, weirdly, and then took several years out, and that guy never fought again. God knows what's going on there. Maybe one of you guys can tell me. Lartey appears to be quite small as well, even though he's 6'5". Look at his weight, 203 when he turned over in 2013, and as recently as last year he weighed 210. So this is a skinny guy for 6'5". But then again, in his last fight, he was 20 pounds heavier at 230 pounds. Well, he was active in 2017. He wasn't active in hasn't been active so far this year. But Yeah, December the 3rd, 2017 is the last time he fought. So that's like 6 months ago, whatever it was. Anyway, yeah, who else is on here? Joyce, Lartey, topping the bill. And Michael Venom Page, as I say, because it is a Haymaker show. I actually saw Michael Venom Page's recent MMA fight, and I'm not a fan of MMA. Don't get it twisted. I respect MMA fighters. I respect the art form. You know, massive respect to anyone who does MMA. But I just don't find it as entertaining as boxing generally. But Michael Venom Page's most recent MMA fight, I thought that was extremely entertaining. You know, if more MMA fights were like that, I'd probably watch the sport a lot more. So yeah, gonna be interesting to see how he does in his second professional boxing match though, which is a quick turnaround because he only fought his MMA fight the other day, but he didn't take any damage obviously, so I guess he can switch straight over against this level of opposition and have a boxing match too. And everybody else, I guess these are pretty much nothing fights, right? These are guys with very few fights stepping in there. So Michael Page, yeah, I watched that. But there's nothing else on there of any particular note. Haymaker have lost a couple fighters. Actually, I'm not sure if they've lost the fighters or whether the fighters are being allowed to fight under other promotional banners or they're being co-promoted. I don't know. But yeah, they don't have the biggest stable at the moment, Haymaker. But it is good to see them trying to stay as busy as possible. And I think this will be on Channel 5, will it? Does it say here? Normally it will say here what channel it's going to be on. I imagine it's going to be on Channel 5 or Dave. Hopefully it will be for, you know, those who want to watch it in the UK. They're probably just going to tune in for Joyce to see how he looks. So yeah, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. And also, hopefully Joyce can get a fight on with one of his domestic rivals. This will be a defense of his Commonwealth belt. But if he can get a fight on with one of the domestic rivals, maybe somebody like a Nick Webb, I think a Nick Webb fight would be good. Because Nick Webb at the moment, he's fought on a couple of Eddie Hearn shows recently because he's no longer with Frank Warren. He's fought on a couple of Eddie Hearn shows. I'm not sure if he's promotionally tied to Eddie Hearn though. So, I mean, whether he is or he isn't, they should be able to get the Joyce fight done if he's eligible to fight for the Commonwealth title. Because, as I say, well, David Hayes' last fight, for example, was on an Eddie Hearn show. Well, co-promoted by Eddie Hearn and Haymaker. And obviously Joyce was there too. So even if Webb is signed to Matchroom, they might still be able to get the fight on. Maybe even on Sky. Who knows? So yeah, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below, people. It's Hatman, I'm out.